Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Monday, July 21st, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Milwaukee Brewers versus the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here in about 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Monday, everyone. And on the thumb, on the left, catching stud, William Contreras. And on the right, our ace, George Kirby. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Milwaukee Brewers. Leading off for the Milwaukee Brewers at second base, Bryce Terang. Batting second, catching today for Milwaukee, William Contreras. Batting third, DHing for the Brew Crew, Christian Yelich. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, playing right field, Jackson Chourio. Batting fifth, playing left field, Isaac Collins. Batting sixth, playing first base, Andrew Vaughn. Batting seventh, playing center field, Blake Perkins. Batting eighth, playing third base, Anthony Siegler. And batting ninth, playing shortstop, Joey Ortiz. And on the mound for the Brew Crew with a 1-0 record, an ERA of 2.61, Brandon Woodruff. And the Brewers have won of their last 10 games. They're 10-0. Again, and a majority of those have been against the Dodgers. So this is definitely not going to be easy. And hopefully Seattle will bring their A game after dropping a game to the Astros, but winning 2 out of 3 and winning the series. Now let's get into the starting lineups for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, playing center field, Julio Rodriguez. Batting third, catching today for Seattle, big dumper Cal Raleigh. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Batting fifth, DHing today for Seattle, Jorge Polanco. Batting sixth, playing first base, Luke Raley. Batting seventh, playing right field, Dominic Canzone. Batting eighth, playing third base, Ben Williamson. And batting ninth, playing second base, Cole Young. And on the mound for the Mariners with a 4-4 record, an ERA of 4.50, it is George Kirby. We're going to be shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, 50 at the halfway point, and we'll be shooting for 100 likes and 100 on the Dono train. And again, maybe not the most ideal time to be matching up against the hottest team in baseball in the last 10 games, 10-0. You know, I saw that come up on my timeline last night. I was like, wow, you know, but again, you know, this is something that, you know, it has to be a challenge, you know, for any time you play a team that has been this hot. I mean, we've been there, you know, obviously with 9 consecutive series in a row. Not sure if we've ever been 10-0 in a 10-game stretch, but pretty close. And again, you know, at some point, all good things have to come to an end. You know, if the Brew Crew keep dominating, would I be shocked? No. But again, at some point, you know, you would have to think that L is on the way. It may not be today. It may not be tomorrow. We're going to have to earn it. And again, this is a very good team this year. The Brewers are 19 games above 500. I can only imagine the one day where Seattle gets to that position. 59-40 for the Brew Crew, one of the best years they've had in a minute. 26-23 though on the road. So a majority of their wins are at home. So this gives me a little bit of hope that we can win 2 out of 3, even though Mizorowski will be on the mound tomorrow versus Logan Gilbert. I still like our chances. And then obviously with the Seattle Mariners, 53-46. We were 8 games above 500, but we dropped that game yesterday to the Stros, and that was the most that we've been above 500. Even when we were on our 9 consecutive series win streak, the peak was 8 games. And hopefully if we can win 2 out of 3, we can get to the point where we're close to being 10 games over 500. Let's go, baby. All day in the building. Appreciate you. You know the drill. Let's go, baby. Amanda in the building. What's good? I don't think the Mariners are considered, one of the hottest. I think that, we've turned the corner, from where we were. Early in the year, we were really hot. If we were playing the Brewers back when we won 9 consecutive series in a row, then Amanda, I would probably agree, 2 of the hottest. I think the Brewers are the hottest. The Mariners right now, again, we're playing good ball, but I'm not sure if we're still playing one of the best, in the league at the moment. But again, it feels like we're getting better, on every start. We still have some issues in the bull and obviously a few issues, with starting pitching. But again, I do like our chances here at home and, Trident's up. Let's go M's. Let's go, baby. Cody in the building, what's good? Jacob in the building says, let's go Brew Crew. I see you. This is going to be a tough series. And again, we're going to give everything that we got. First up is Bryce Terang. First pitch from George Kirby. Takes a strike looking high and away. 0-1 count. Let's go, George. And again, the magic number for the Mariners will be 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. If we hit that, we should have a good chance to compete. And we want all of our starting pitching to give up 3 runs or less, which is going to be a tough battle considering how good the Brewers have been lately. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, low and at the knees to Bryce Terang. Good start here. No balls and 2 strikes for George Kirby. And again, when our starting pitching is on, when we're ahead of the count early and we end up having, 3, 4, 5 Ks out of our pitcher within the first 2-3 innings. So far, so good. And we'll see what we get here as we move on with the order. 0-2 pitch, fouled off low and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Bryce Terang. Let's go, George. We need you to bring that electricity today. Let's go, baby. Trident's up. Yeah, I mean, you've had some injuries with the Brew Crew over the last few years, but again, nothing really big compared to some of the other major team injuries that are out there. This team has been able to get a lot of continuity and chemistry this year. And again, we know how good the Chicago Cubs are in the division, but the Brew Crew is right there with them. 0-2 pitch, and Terang grounds out to JP. JP throw to first. Got him. 1 away. Good defense there by JP. Next up, catching today for the Brew Crew, one of the best catchers in the game with Cal Raleigh, William Contreras. First pitch, low and away. No, high and away with the 4-seam fastball. 1-0 count. Yeah, I would agree with that, Peter, typically. But also, too, you have to remember this is the first time that we've seen George Kirby hurt and, missing the first 50-plus games. So, obviously, his record is 4-4. Now, if he was healthy at the beginning of the year, would he have an above 500 record? We don't know, for sure. But again, typically, when in a healthy Kirby year, I would agree with that statement. 2-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking low and away with that sinker by Kirby. 2 balls and 1 strike here in the top of the first. Kirby on the mound, William Contreras in the box. 2-1 pitch. And Contreras grounds out to second. Throw to first. There we go. 2 away. Next up for the Brewers, DHing the old school vet, Christian Yelich. This one could really go either way. Right now the Brew Crew is only 26-23 on the road, so that favors the Mariners. But on the flip side, the Brewers have won 10 games in a row, and a good chunk of those have been against the Dodgers. So they swept the Dodgers at home, they swept the Dodgers on the road. And again, anytime you can end up beating one of the best teams in baseball, not only once with a sweep, but twice in a matter of a week and a half, pretty impressive. So again, we know we have our hands full, and we have Mizorowski on the mound against Gilbert tomorrow. So, I don't know if I would really be betting on this particular matchup, if I'm being honest, because again, obviously if you're going based off the 10 wins in a row, you're going to go Brewers. But if you go based off home and away record, you might be going against Mariners here. 1-1 pitch in play, and Yelich grounds out to second. Every ball right up the middle, and we like that. Obviously we would love to be able to get off to a fast start with a punch out, and a punch out. But this team is 10-0 in the last 10 games. They're uber hot, and if we have to get ground balls up the middle with the first 3 guys, we'll take that. And we'll see what happens as we go up to bat. One thing I do know for sure is that we're going to have to start, hitting early and often, and we're going to have to get at least a home run or 2. When the Mariners don't hit a home run, we don't win. We can't win with just hits and RBIs typically. So hopefully we can get a couple home runs early and kind of set the tone. On the mound for the Brewers and the Brew Crew, 1-0 record, ERA of 2.61, Brandon Woodruff. And leading off for the Mariners, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Batting second, Julio Rodriguez. And batting third, it's the big dumper, best catcher in baseball, Cal Raleigh. Tridents up, let's go M's. Let's go, baby. And again, whenever we play teams like this, I don't really fear great teams. I'm looking forward to the challenge. And again, the Mariners play the best ball when we go against teams that have amazing records. When we play teams, like the White Sox or, the Marlins, kind of the bottom feeder teams, that's when we're in trouble because we play down to the competition. But even if we lose, most of the time when we play, elite teams, we match that energy. And so we may end up losing a game or 2 in the series, but typically we don't get blown out. We haven't been blown out that often this season. I can count on maybe one hand, maybe 2 hands, but not, completing the full 10. I don't think we've been blown out 10 times this year, but there definitely has been, 6-7 times where it was a little embarrassing, including yesterday against the Stros. But most of the time, we're going to bring our energy. We're going to bring that aura, that swagger. And again, hopefully we can compete with this very elite team, the Brew Crew, the Milwaukee Brewers, here tonight. Yeah, but just because we, swept the Tigers before the All-Star break, there's no guarantee that that's going to translate to things happening after the All-Star break. This is like the second half of the season. So JP pops up, and that is 1 away. I was hoping JP would be able to work the count a little bit there, but he got 3 Brewers converging on the play, and nice catch there by the Brew Crew, 1 away. Next up is center fielder Julio Rodriguez. First pitch from Woodruff to Julio, high and away with a 4-seam fastball, 90+ miles an hour there by Woodruff, 1-0 count. And hopefully we can get Julio, going, because again, we know we're going to be in every single game with this guy right here, Cal Raleigh. But the ceiling is with Julio. If Julio plays well and it rubs off on the other players and the pitching is decent and our bullpen is good, we're very hard to beat. And if everyone is good, starting pitching, bullpen, as well as hitting, we'll see how it ends up going as the game progresses. 1-0 pitch. And Julio popped up almost identically there to J.P. Crawford. Different location, but same result, 2 away. So I guess we're going to get slow dribblers by the first 3 on Milwaukee, and maybe we get 3 pop-ups here by Seattle. Hopefully Cal will be able to go yard at some point. We're looking for home run number 39 and home run number 40. Again, it's just getting that first home run after the All-Star break, pacing for 64. He's at 38. And again, at some point, he may hit a little bit of a wall. And if that happens, he may not hit 60 home runs, but, he will end up getting 50 to 59. It just depends on if he can hit that next tier. And down goes Cal Raleigh. And again, it's kind of the way that this game is going, right? You had 3 grounders, 3 pop-ups. And again, sometimes you can just kind of feel it in the air. And again, when one guy does it, sometimes it rubs off on the other players. And again, you may not see that happen that often. First 3 for Milwaukee, ground out, right up the middle to JP Crawford. And then you had 3 consecutive pop-ups by JP, Julio, and Cal. I'll be honest, I don't think I've seen that happen to either team like that together all year. And we'll see how it progresses as we go forward. Because again, if we're going to get 3 ground outs in a row, 3 pop-ups in a row, that may end up leading to, something special as the game continues. Maybe some back-to-back homer action or some back-to-back-to-back hits. We can only hope. Let's see who's up next here for the Brew Crew. Next up for the Brewers, right fielder, cleanup hitter, Jackson Churio. Batting second, left fielder in the 5-hole, Isaac Collins. And batting third, first baseman, Andrew Vaughn. And if you look at this roster, it's quite a bit different than in previous years. If you look at the starting lineup, half of the names are not familiar to maybe a lot of people from the past. Obviously, you heard of Terang. Contreras has been there for a minute. Yelich is the OG. Churio is the up-and-coming stud, right? But as far as like the Collins and Vaughn and Perkins, going to Siegler and Ortiz, those are kind of newer additions to the starting lineup, for this particular season. But it's working for him, and we'll see how this all transitions here for George Kirby here in the top of the second. Let him know all day. There we go. We got to 20 already. We're trying to get to 50 at the halfway point. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes and 100 on the dono train before the stream ends. Let's go, baby. First pitch to Churio. Big swing and a miss. High and away. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. High and away with the 4-seam fastball. 95 miles an hour. Tries to paint the corner. Barely misses it. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Churio. Cousin Brian in the building. What's good? How are you? Trident's up. Go M's. 1-1 pitch. In play and flied out to right. Let's go, baby. Dominic Canzone. I see you. 1 away. Next up, left fielder in the 5-hole, Isaac Collins. First pitch from Kirby to Collins. Takes a strike looking, paints the corner beautifully with that 4-seam fastball. 95 miles an hour by Kirby, 0-1 count. Kirby on the mound, Isaac Collins in the box. Oh-1 pitch, in play, grounds out to JP, throw to first, 2 away. JP has been very active here. A lot of ground balls here early. George doing a great job. Next up, first baseman Andrew Vaughn. Happy Monday, everyone. Hope everyone is having a fantastic start to their week. And again, I can't wait for this series to be able to continue, hopefully at a high pace. First pitch to Vaughn, in play, grounds out to the pitcher. George Kirby is there, and there is the toe tap at first. Easy 1-2-3 inning for George Kirby. And again, that's when you know our pitchers are on point. They don't need, to get a bunch of Ks to be successful. Now, obviously, if we could have 5 Ks, after the second inning is over for George Kirby, we know then he's pacing for something special, like 10 to 14, like he has done early in the year. But, even if it ends up being one of those games where you go for the first 3-4 innings and you don't have any Ks, but if you're able to get easy pop-ups and easy ground outs, we'll take that. And we know George's confidence is high, and hopefully we'll be able to get some runs here shortly. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning and see who's up for Brandon Woodruff and the Milwaukee Brewers. 1-0 record, 2.61 ERA for Brandon, and let's see what we got here for the Mariners, who he's going to go against. Here in the bottom of the second, leading off, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Batting second, DHing for Seattle, Jorge Polanco. And batting third, first baseman Luke Raley. We need a nuke. Luke, let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes and 100 on the dono train before the stream ends. Let's go, baby. And we've been gaining about 5 to 15 subs on average. So in some of the streams, we've been getting 20 to 30. So hopefully we'll be able to gain a few more subs on that matter. We gained 1 already. We got 5 subs to go to get to 21,100. And shout out to all the people watching all across the globe. Numbers have been great, and we've been able to increase our viewership. We're almost at 5,000 regular returning viewers. We're at 4,800. We started the season off around 1,000 to 1,500, so that's fantastic. We've gotten the female viewership up to 15% from 5%, and I'll go over all the locations that have been showing love to the channel. First pitch from Woodruff to Randy Arozarena. Takes a strike looking with a sinker, low and at the knees, 0-1 count. Woodruff on the mound, Randy in the box. Let's go, Arozarena. You've been electric since June 11th. And it's kind of nice, to know 0-1 pitch, in play, popped up and popped out and flied out to center, 1 away. But it's nice to be able to have a guy like Randy when Julio and Cal, maybe somewhat struggling. You have another guy that that can put up big numbers. And when all 3 put up big numbers together, we're almost unbeatable. Next up is Jorge Polanco. Let's see if we can get Polo to get us off the schneid here. We're in the bottom of the second, 0-0 with the Brew Crew. And I like playing teams, that are in the National League Central. When we go against the Cardinals, the Brewers, the Cubbies, it just always seems like it's a fun, matchup, and we don't really see those teams that often. So I really do consider it a treat when we get to play teams, obviously, there in the Central. First pitch from Woodruff to Polo, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, fouled off high and away with the sinker, 92 miles an hour by Woodruff. No balls and 2 strikes from Woodruff to Polo. Let's go, Jorge. Oh-2 pitch, low and away with the changeup. Misses the strike zone by about 3 feet there. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Brandon Woodruff on the mound, Jorge Polanco in the box. Bring that electricity, Polo. And Polo's one of those guys that's in the middle of the lineup like Luke Raley and Randy Arozarena, that can hit a homer at any given moment. But down goes Polo there. And hopefully we'll be able to get some action out of him moving forward. Next up is Luke Raley. Randy, 1 away. Polo, 2 away. Come on, Luke. We need somebody to set the tone. And as long as we get a single, we can end up starting a rally. We're very good with 2 outs. And a lot of teams, when they end up having 2 outs, they don't produce. But the Mariners, we find a way. Nice punch out from Woodruff to Jorge Polanco. I see you. First pitch from Woodruff to Raley. Fouled it off right down the middle. 0-1 count. And I love Luke's hustle. He'll hustle on defense. He'll hustle, going to first. And, we had Charlie hustle with Pete Rose. And it's just nice to be able to see guys that really truly care and try to make, plays, no matter if it looks like they're going to be 99% out at first with a, slow dribbler. You never know if the throw will be off or if they'll bobble that initial, take when they get the ball. 0-1 pitch, low and away. Woodruff paints the corner. Probably should have been called strike, but called ball. 1 ball and 1 strike from Woodruff to Raley. 1-1 pitch, high and inside with that sinker to Luke Raley. 2 balls and 1 strike from Woodruff to Raley. Bottom of the second inning, 0-0 Brew Crew and Mariners. Tridents up. 2-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, low and away. Great pitch there by Woodruff to bait Raley. Raley takes the bait. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. And speaking of bait, if you are a fan of Shark Week or Shark Fest, it's in full effect. Obviously, I've been watching Shark Fest on Nat Geo all month, but Shark Week just yesterday. So if you are a fan of that, I've been watching that for 20 plus years. The content is great, and I'll definitely be watching later tonight. Always look forward to Shark Week and Shark Fest because once it's over, we're one step closer for baseball to go to the playoffs as well as the NFL and college football season. And Raley on a 2-2 pitch gets hit. Okay, as long as Luke isn't hurt, we'll take that. Luke Raley to first. Got him right there on the knee. Looks like he's shaking it off. He's okay. Luke Raley's a tough guy. Next up, right fielder Dominic Canzone. I mean, this would be a great time for some electricity, and we can get a Dom bomb, baby. Let's go. First pitch to Dominic Canzone. In play. Grounds out to second. Throw to first. And a very clean 1-2-3 for the Brewers and the Mariners, besides that plunk job that they had on Luke Raley. So no momentum yet. It's been a good pitcher's duel so far. We're knotted up at 0. Let's go to the top of the third inning. And going into the good results that we've been getting on the channel, 85% male, 15% female when that was at 5%, a few weeks back. And then obviously we get great production from the United States. It's typically 70% or higher for the views, but the Dominican Republic, 11.1% on the channel. So we know we got a lot of people in the Dominican Republic. They love their baseball there. If you're watching from the Dominican Republic, shout out to you. Mexico, Venezuela, Canada, Japan, the homeland for me, Philippines, Nicaragua, Puerto Rico, Taiwan, Australia, New Zealand, and many, many other Asian and European countries on the list, just to name a few. Shout out to you guys. We're at almost 5,000 regular returning viewers on the regular. And again, we only need a few more subs. We just gained another one. 4 more to go to be able to get to 21,100. And we ended up just getting to 21,000 just a couple days ago. So we're really moving at a very frantic pace. And I appreciate every single one of y'all that have liked, subbed, donated, commented, shared, done anything positive with the channel. It really does mean a lot. And again, we do a little bit of everything here. Obviously I'm known as, the guy for the Seattle Mariners and the Oregon Ducks, but, we'll end up doing Blazers, Kraken, NFL, Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night, lots of college football, and then obviously a little bit of NASCAR, NBA, and NHL once, the NFL season is over, once we get into that period where we're waiting for baseball. And we also do WWE at least once a month and occasionally Monday Night Raw for the WWE PLE, especially if it ends up being like WrestleMania or SummerSlam. Definitely we'll be doing that, and we have been doing that for quite some time. It's all in one shop right here, for sports and wrestling. All right, here we go. George Kirby here in the top of the third, pitching well. Next up is Blake Perkins. First pitch, low and at the knees with the slider, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, high and away with the four-seam fastball. 2 balls and no strikes to Blake Perkins. 2-0 pitch. Pitch inside, probably should have been called strike, but called ball. First jam that Kirby is getting himself into. 3 balls and no strikes from Kirby to Perkins. And Kirby does not walk, that many individuals. And speaking of walks, 3-0 pitch. He ends up getting a walk here to Perkins, but it's rare. This is like the poor man's Greg Maddux, with George Kirby. He's not on the Maddux level, but he pitches kind of like him. It's not always going to be top-end speed. Most of the time, it'll be location. And most of the time, he will be on. But 4 straight balls to Perkins. He goes to first. Next up, third baseman, Anthony Siegler. First pitch to Siegler. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. Gained another sub. 3 more to go to get to 21,100. Shout out to all the new subs on the channel. You guys are fantastic. Top of the third inning, 0-0, Brew Crew and Mariners. Runner at first, Kirby on the mound, Siegler in the box. 0-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle, four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Siegler. All day doing a great job like he always does. Appreciate you. We're at 30, 20 more to get to our halfway point. And we're still looking for our first dono on our dono train. Let's go, baby. O2 pitch in play and fielder's choice. Perkins out at second. 1 away. Next up for the Brew Crew, shortstop in the 9-hole, Joey Ortiz. H, you would believe that, you know, if we can beat the Tigers and sweep them before the break and winning 2 out of 3 against the Astros, but we did lose yesterday. And, you know, the Brewers have won 10 in a row. So, again, the only thing that we really have going for us right now is that the Brewers are only 26-23 on the road. So a majority of their wins have been at home. And again, we're, you know, on the road at T-Mobile. So again, even though they've been hot most of the time at home, you know, I still like our chances of winning 2 out of 3 against this very good team that's 19 games above 500, 59-40. And I know the Mariners at some point will get into double digits above 500. But first, we got to, you know, catch up to the Astros and hopefully pass them. 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss, low and away from Ortiz. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Ortiz. Top of the third with a runner at first and 1 out. And Siegler to second by an error by Cole Young. Unfortunately there. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 1 out. We need a punch out and a double play or a double play to end this particular out and then maybe get a pop-up or ground out for out number 3. But if we can get a double play, that would be fantastic. A little bit harder when you got a runner at second, but it's still doable. Just depends if the ball goes in between second and third. Yeah, I mean, you know, the way that the Tigers got rocked by the Mariners, and we're not even a full, complete team yet. We could still use a little depth in right field, first base, third base, and in the bullpen. But, you know, I feel like we match up really well with Detroit, as well as the Blue Jays, Astros, you know, pretty much every team, you know, and maybe the team that we struggle with the most on the road would be New York with the Yankees, you know, just the way that they're built. And obviously when we go there, it seems like the umping is not 50-50 and whatnot. But, you know, again, if we end up having to go to New York in the playoffs, I know that we can be one of those teams that can match up with them pretty well. 2-2 pitch, fouled off low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 1 out. I mean, if you're going based off record, you know, obviously the Tigers still have one of the top records, but once we go to the playoffs, you know, we'll figure out, you know, who's going to end up being the hot and healthy team. And so it could be a team, you know, like the Mariners that may not have the best record. There might be teams that have better records, Astros possibly, you know, Blue Jays, Yankees, Tigers. But if we end up being hot and healthy and making the right moves and maybe bringing Geno back to the Mariners, that could be the difference between us losing to those teams and possibly beating those teams and making it to the ALDS, ALCS, or possibly the World Series. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes here in the top of the third. Runner at second with 1 out. Kirby on the mound. Ortiz in the box. Fitzgerald in the building. What's good? Yeah, and then the National League, there's a lot more competitiveness there, in my opinion. You got the Mets, you got the Phillies, right? You got the Cubs, the Brewers, the Cardinals, and then you got the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Giants. So it seems like it's a little bit heavier, on that side. There's about 8 teams over there, and then maybe about 5 or 6 in the American League. So, and things can change. We're not usually used to having only one team in the Central, with like the Tigers, being the only team above 500, and normally the Guardians and the Royals and and those teams there, usually you have a few teams that are above 500 there. So it's a little weird to see that division with only one team above 500, but we still got quite a ways to go, and things could definitely change with injuries and obviously hot play. 3-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Ortiz. There we go. Nice pitch by George Kirby to get the punch out. My boy. Hey, it may take a little bit to get that punch out, but once you get it, let's see if we can get another. Nice job, George. 2 away. Next up is second baseman Bryce Terang. So far, 0 for 1. In play, and Terang grounds out to second. Throw to first, and that is out number 3. Pretty efficient ball by both teams so far. Not anyone really trying to get into a rhythm just yet. It's been, no one's got a hit just yet. I mean, this isn't the Mizorowski, Logan Gilbert game. You would assume if we were in the 3rd inning and nobody has a hit yet, you would think we'd be watching that game tomorrow, so we could have like a repeat deal tomorrow. But at some point, the game will open up, and we'll see if Woodruff and Kirby can still stay hot at the moment, and we'll see what we got here next for Woodruff in the bottom of the 3rd. Let's see who's up next for the Mariners. Let's get on the board. Next up for the Mariners, third baseman Ben Williamson. Let's go B-Dubs. Let's go Big Ben. Batting second, who ended up hitting the game-winning RBI just a few days ago, second baseman Cole Young. It's a Cole world, baby. And batting third, 0 for 1, a guy that we need to set the tone early and often, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. You haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes and 100 on the Dono train. Gained another sub. 2 more to go. We've gained 4 already in this short period of time. 2 more to go to get to 21,100. Shout out to every single person watching all across the globe. Yeah, that was a weird error by Crawford. JP doesn't really make errors like that, but overall, he is one of the better players on the Mariners as far as consistency. He just had a 15-16 game hit streak end. And defensively, he's actually one of the better guys in the infield. And every once in a while, a guy will, miss the timing, with the netting of the glove or just the timing of the play, and it's unfortunate, but as long as it's not the, game decision play where we lose off that error, so be it. And I think that, that'll be something that happens with every player from time to time, but, JP usually doesn't have too many errors throughout the year. First pitch to Big Ben Williamson from Woodruff. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Low and at the knees with that sinker by Brandon Woodruff. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ben Williamson. Let's go, Big Ben. Bring that energy and bring that heat, baby. 2-1 pitch. Low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike to Ben Williamson. Let's go, baby. And hopefully we get a couple bunts down as well. Megan in the building and dropping the hammer. Appreciate you. $50 holla. Thank you so much for your love and your support. We're halfway to the goal. Stacks, racks, with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang, at 50 to go. Appreciate you. Your love and support to the channel means everything. And let me know what you want to do photo-wise throughout the broadcast, and I'll try to squeeze those in as much as I can. Well, especially you being a Cubs fan, Joey. Anything that we can do to help you guys continue to win, and again, anytime we end up having teams playing the Astros, Diamondbacks today, we'll be rooting for them. And again, Brewers, having a great year, but I still think most people assume that the Cubs will win the division. We'll see if the, Brewers fizzle out towards the end of the year. Obviously, Cardinals still a few games above 500. Brewers are better than them, and it looks like it is going to be a two-team race between the Cubs and the Brewers, and kind of similar to the Astros and the Mariners, as Williamson grinds out this at-bat and gets a nice single to right. There we go. That's my boy. Nice job, Big Ben. Next up, second baseman Cole Young. Let's go, Cole. And it's nice to be able to see these rookies from AAA making an impact on the team. And again, at the beginning of the year, we mentioned we need to have the right blend of young and old, rookies and vets. And we finally started, calling guys up, bringing up Dominic Canzone, bringing up Cole Young, bringing up Ben Williamson. Yeah, and at times it's been a struggle for those guys, but at times they've, been huge and they've helped us win games. And I like to be able to see the youth movement, very alive here in Seattle, especially when we have the number one farm system in the game. 1-0 pitch in play and lined out and flied out to center. 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1, J.P. Crawford. Drop the bunt down at some point, J.P. Bottom of the third inning, 0-0, Brew Crew and Mariners. And obviously the Brewers are the hottest team within the last 10 games. They're 10-0. Not easy to be able to play a team like this, but what's going in our favor is that they're 26-23 on the road. Most of those wins are at home. So again, Brewers are very good at home, not so much on the road. So that definitely will give us a chance as long as pitching is good. So far, Kirby is pitching pretty damn well. And Crawford flies out to left on the first pitch, 2 away. But again, really, it's going to come down to the bullpen. And hopefully our bullpen doesn't shit the bed late. And as long as the bullpen is somewhat strong, we should be able to compete with this Milwaukee Brewer team. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. 0 for 1 so far. Make it 1 for 2. Let's go. First pitch, fouled off, right down the middle, 0-1 count. Yeah, Cubs have a better chance of making the World Series than the Mariners. The only way that the Mariners would end up making the World Series this year is if they ended up picking up, Naylor and Eugenio Suarez and got like 3 guys from the bullpen and they played great. And there was injuries to other teams and we got hot at the right time and healthy. There would be a lot of shit that would have to happen, and again, right now the Astros and the Tigers, Yankees, Blue Jays, they have something to say about that. But, we will be one of the 5 teams that will have a chance with those other 4. But I'm not sure if it'll be this year. You got to remember, Seattle's never been to a World Series in the history of baseball. We're the only team that's never been to a World Series. So, that's wishful thinking. I would love to be able to go to the World Series. And if we were to go, we definitely wouldn't sweep the Cubs. If we were able to make it, there's no guarantee that we would even win it if we went the first time, but that would be amazing. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Woodruff to Julio. Realistically, whenever it does happen, the Mariners would probably lose the first time that they went to the World Series. And then the second time that they went, maybe they would win that time. But it would really depend on, who's on the team and what we're looking at roster space-wise. And probably we would need Cade Anderson from LSU, our top draft pick. He would have to be in the starting 5, as well as Durangelo, who can pitch from the left side and the right side, who was our, draft pick from last year. So we would still need a few years probably before we get to that point. And those two would pair up, with Kirby, Gilbert, and Wu. And then we probably would have the best starting 5 in pitching in baseball at that point. Julio, 3-2 pitch, and down goes Julio on strikes for out number 3. Slim pickings here for both teams in the box. End of the third inning, we're knotted up here at 0. I mean, I get it. Anytime you can see a rival that's got a good record and whoever's playing them, regardless if they're a good team or a shitty team, you're going to root for them to, beat that other team that's in your division. I mean, it's pretty much like us. Anyone that's playing the Astros, we're going for them. We want to make sure that we can catch up somehow, some way. Next up for the Brew Crew here in the top of the 4th, 0 for 1. One of the best catchers in the game. Maybe not as good as Cal Raleigh, but still very solid. Catcher William Contreras. Batting second, the OG, DHing 0 for 1, Christian Yelich. And batting third, 0 for 1, right fielder, up-and-coming stud, Jackson Chourio. Let's go, baby. 9 more likes to get to the halfway point. Let's get there. And we're at 50 on the Dono train, 50 to go. And we just hit 2 more subs, and we hit 21,100. Here we go. Next goal is in place. 100 subs away from 21,200. We just hit 21,100. And again, we hit 100 subs just within a couple days. So great start there. And anything specific, Megan, that you want to be able to see? I can go through some of your regulars on the fly, but if there's anything specific that you want, with Ichiro, your regulars, the Back to the Future, Kraken, Seahawks, you let me know, and I got you. Top of the 4th inning, 0-0, Brewers and Mariners. First pitch from Kirby to Contreras, fouls it off right down the middle. 0-1 count. So far, so good here for George Kirby. And again, for a guy that missed the first 50-plus games with shoulder inflammation that happened in spring training, it definitely was not what we were expecting. We've had Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, and Bryce Miller hurt, this season, but we're still able to be above 500. And Bryce is going to be coming back, in a few weeks. And at some point, that would mean Logan Evans will get sent down to AAA. But, it wouldn't even, shock me if we were able to move him somewhere else. But, again, we'll have to wait and see. 0-1 pitch in play. Grounds out to second. Throw to first. 1 away. Ah, nice. Sarah with a 5er. Appreciate you. Stacks. Racks with the little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let me know what you want to do for a photo, and I got you when I have the time. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss from Kirby to Yelich. No balls and 2 strikes to Christian Yelich. I got you. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and Yelich strikes out swinging. Nice job by George Kirby, bringing that electricity. Another punch out there on Christian Yelich. I love it. Next up, Jackson Chourio. Top of the 4th, 0-0, Brew Crew and Mariners in a pitcher's duel. Chourio in the box, George Kirby on the mound. And I'm pleasantly surprised how good Kirby is doing at this point, because this is exactly what we needed to be able to stay close. Oh, 1 pitch, fouled off high and inside. No balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Chourio. Yeah, and we haven't had too many memorable seasons. 95 with the 95 slide with Griffey, 97 when Griffey won the AL MVP, 2001 when Ichiro was a rookie and we won 116 games out of 162, but did lose to the Yankees in the playoffs. 2022 when Cal Raleigh hit that walk-off on the Athletics, and we made the playoffs for the first time in 20 plus years. And I do believe 2025 will be a playoff year. So again, it's, just a handful of like really special seasons. It's just kind of unfortunate when we have guys like Felix Hernandez, Raul Ibanez, Nelson Cruz, and Kyle Seager. We weren't able to do anything playoff-wise then because those guys really did earn, a chance, but we just weren't good enough back then. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Churio. Bob in the building. What's good? I'm definitely ready for the trade deadline as well. And down goes Churio for out number 3. And it's kind of cool to be able to see Randy Johnson and Ken Griffey Jr., both be, Hall of Famers, obviously for baseball. But on top of that, enjoying their passion of professional photography, to this day. And, Randy did it at USC, and that was something that he had passion for. And the crazy thing is, as you mentioned with the bird that exploded when he ended up throwing to the catcher, his logo is actually a cartoon logo of a bird exploding with the baseball, kind of cartoonish version logo based on that moment. So, Randy definitely knows his photography, just like Ken Griffey Jr. And you're going to see Ken Griffey Jr. With a little bit more exposure to events, but both are very, very good at what they do. And they found some love after baseball with photography. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning, and we're knotted up here at 0. And I'll start to load a few photos here. What I can pull up. Some photos lined up here for Megan and Sarah. Next up is Cal Raleigh. First pitch to Cal Raleigh from Woodruff. Takes a strike swinging high and away. 0-1 count. We'll take singles. We'll take doubles. We'll take triples, but we're looking for home run number 39 from Big Dumper. Let's go. Come on, Cal. Get us on the board. Oh, 1 pitch in play and flied out to center. And that is out number 1. Still love you, Cal. Great moment. Home run derby champ, baby. Next up, 0 for 1, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. Bring that electricity. We need someone to hit that home run to get us started. Let's go. I'm excited for you. It should be a lot of fun. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It does take a lot of effort, and I feel that, there's not a lot of us, that are committed to, the MLB game as strongly. Again, you have like a Yankees, streamer. You got Valhalla that does Dodgers. I do Seattle for the Mariners. You're going to get a few people out there, that, represent their teams and whatnot, but, it's not as oversaturated as like the NFL market is for sure. And, again, it's definitely one of those things that definitely takes a lot of effort and time, but, I'm just trying to be able to make things a little bit more light, a little bit more fun. And again, hopefully we can end up continuing the greatness here on the NWSF. 1-1 pitch, and Arozarena flies out to center. 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 with a K, Jorge Polanco. Let's go Polo. Woodruff on the mound, Polo in the box. And Woodruff is doing a great job as well. You know, this guy has just, been injured. He's 1-0, 2.61 ERA. So to be able to be this good with George Kirby in this matchup, I mean, I think if you were to predict a 0-0 at this point, I'm not sure if anyone saw this coming. And we got Miz as well as Logan Gilbert, going out at tomorrow, which is going to be one of the best pitching duels of the season. And I can't wait to be able to see what we get there. Might be a little low scoring like this, but once those guys go out, just like with Woodruff and Kirby, the game should open up. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Woodruff to Polo. Anna in the building, what's good? Trident's up. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. I think really what makes it as challenging is that I feel like I'm doing a little bit more than every other baseball streamer that's out there, because I got to do live play-by-play. I got to do color. So I got to do, 2 jobs in one, hence the 2 mics. And on top of that, I got to produce the show on the fly. And on top of that, communicate with everyone, watch multiple screens, watch the game on 2 different screens, watch stat pages, and, pull up the photos on the fly, which is definitely not easy. You have to multitask like a mofo. And that is out number 3. Down goes Polo. Man, what a pitcher's duel here. End of the 4th inning. We're still knotted up at 0. See if I can get you some Bob Gale as well. But I wouldn't really want it any other way. To be able to bring up, the HD 4K photos, of the players, it's good because a lot of times, people when they're watching, you might have heard of the names of certain players, but you may not know what they actually look like. So it's kind of a nice thing that when you come here, not only are you going to get educated on the Seattle Mariners, but also the opponent as well. And, it's not like I just follow Seattle. I follow the entire league as a whole, just like I do in every sport with the NHL, the NBA, the NFL, college football, NASCAR Cup Series. It's pretty much above and beyond with everything. So, again, you got to be able to be on your game, especially when you have so many things on your plate. Big facts. End of the 4th inning. We're still knotted up at 0. Appreciate you. We'll try to squeeze in a few more as we go in throughout the commercial breaks. We're at 55 on the Dono train, 45 to go. And did you decide what you wanted to do, Sarah? Did you want to do a photo for a Cardinal player? I can still pull up something for all day as well, if you want something at some point throughout the stream. But if there's something else that you would like, just let me know so I can plug it in. Next up for the Brew Crew here in the top of the 5th in a pitcher's duel between Woodruff and George Kirby. In the 5-hole, left fielder 0 for 1, Isaac Collins. Batting second, first baseman Andrew Vaughn. And batting third, center fielder Blake Perkins. First pitch to Isaac Collins from George Kirby, low and away, 1-0 count. There we go. We're at 50. Funny thing is, no, I'm the only one. So my dad obviously grew up in LA and grew up in Hawaii and grew up in the Sandy Koufax era in Los Angeles. So my dad actually has been a fan of the Dodgers since the 50s. And he watches every game, beginning to end, like myself, for the Seattle Mariners. So I'm the only one. But again, the reason that I'm a fan is because I ended up meeting Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. when I was 7. And then when I was 10, I got a chance to meet Sandy Koufax, my dad's hero. And, if I didn't meet Koufax or Griffey, back when I was 7 and 10, who knows if I'm doing this channel here today. I mean, maybe I'm doing video game streaming instead or something else. Kind of hard to say, but that definitely changed my life for the better back when I was younger, as Colin rounds out, and that is a throw to first, 1 away. But when you end up meeting, the best hitter in the game when you're in first grade, and then you end up meeting the best left-handed pitcher, arguably, of all time, besides Randy Johnson or Steve Carlton and Sandy Koufax, it definitely is a unique experience, and it almost is like frozen in time in my brain because it almost feels like it was yesterday when I met both of those guys. First pitch from George Kirby to Andrew Vaughn, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and away with the four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike to Andrew Vaughn. And I imagine Andrew Vaughn, out of everyone in baseball, he's probably one of the most excited because he was on the White Sox, for quite some time. Imagine being on the White Sox or being on a team that's 19 games above 500, competing with the Cubs for first place in the division. I imagine he's very, very happy. 2-1 pitch, takes a strike looking low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Vaughn. And then after this inning is over, we'll go over the pitching stats, which have, not been crazy as far as Ks. 3 for Woodruff and 2 for Kirby, but they both have been very efficient up to this point. Kirby at 54 pitches, Woodruff at only 41. So it's been a lot of ground balls and pop-ups. And again, there's only been 1 hit for Seattle, nothing for the Brewers at this point. And Chopper at first, bobbled and flipped to the pitcher and out. Great job there by Luke Raley. Could have been an error and he saved it. Next up, 0 for 0 with a base on ball, center fielder Blake Perkins. First pitch from Kirby to Perkins, takes a strike looking high and inside. 0-1 count. Let's go, baby. 55. You're doing a great job. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Perkins. Monkey Kung Fu, I'd have to ask him, and stuff. Because, again, he's lived a majority of his life, on the West Coast and in Oregon, California, and Hawaii. But what specific island? Off the top of my head, I want to say Oahu, but I don't know if that's correct. But something, kind of memories based on talking with him. But, next time I talk to him, I'll find out and I'll let you know. All right, let's go here to the bottom of the 5th inning, and we're still knotted up at 0 with a pitcher's duel with George Kirby and Brandon Woodruff. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help your boy out. We're trying to get to 100 likes and 100 on the Dono train. Yeah, it might be Oahu. It might be Honolulu. I'm not really too sure. I'll have to double check. But most of his time was in California and LA, watching Koufax and Drysdale, Duke Snyder, in like the 50s and 60s. And then as he got older, went to Hawaii, and then obviously traveled here into Oregon. And then obviously this is where we have been for quite some time. Let's see who's up next for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 5th in a pitcher's duel. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 0, first baseman Luke Raley. Batting second, 0 for 1, right fielder Dominic Canzone. And batting third, 1 for 1, Ben Williamson. And obviously, Luke Raley is 0 for 0, and he didn't get walked. He got plunked. So hopefully he doesn't get plunked here again, and we can find a way to get a little bit of a rally here in the bottom of the 5th. Titans and Colts, nice. I saw that Levis ended up having the surgery and whatnot, but Obviously, they have drafted a quarterback, with Cam Ward to be able to lead the future. And I imagine there will be someone that they pick up for the backup position. And again, that should be a game that would be somewhat winnable, you would think, as long as, injuries don't kind of bring you guys backwards for the Colts. First pitch from Woodruff to Rayleigh, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Monkey Kung Fu with a 20, appreciate you. We're at 75 now, 25 to go to hit the goal. Appreciate you. Let me know what you want to do for a photo, stacks, racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. And Luke Rayleigh with the 1-0 pitch. Nice little dribbler. There we go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Nice single. Let's see if we can continue the rally. Appreciate you. Monkey Kung Fu, Sarah, and Megan. Next up for the Mariners, Dominic Canzone. First pitch from Brandon Woodruff to Dominic Canzone. Low and away with the cutter, 89 miles an hour to Dom. Let's go, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go. We're looking for a Dom bomb, baby. One 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. 1-1 pitch. And popped up and flied out to center. 1 away. Next up, 1 for 1. Third baseman Ben Williamson. Let's go, Big Ben. And again, you're going to have some struggles, with Big Ben as well as Cole Young. But again, they also will step up and make big plays. And again, I'm just happy that we were able to call them up. We're still waiting on Harry Ford, but based on, what we have with Garver and Cal Raleigh, and especially with the need of, maybe Eugenio Suarez or Naylor, possibly, if we can get those players, we would have to sacrifice a guy like Harry Ford in the farm. But if we could get, Gino to come back and give up a pitcher in the farm, Harry Ford, and maybe a player, I don't think anyone would really blink an eye. I mean, we want Harry on the team, but if we can get Gino, that's going to help us more. First pitch and in play, Williamson, and flies out 2 away. Next up is Cole Young. It is a Cole world, baby. Let's go, Cole. First pitch from Woodruff to Cole Young. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Bottom of the 5th inning, 0-0, Brewers and Mariners. Woodruff on the mound, Cole Young in the box. 0-1 pitch, in play. And grounds out to first. Toe tap on the bag, and that is out number 3. All right, let's go over the stats here of the pitchers here real quick. And obviously it's been kind of a crazy game, right? The Mariners have 2 hits. The Brewers have none. So George Kirby's got a no-hitter right now, but it's probably the quietest no-hitter in the history of baseball. George Kirby, 5 innings pitched, no hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks. It's not like he's got 8 or 9 at this point. 58 pitches, 41 strikes, 4.12 ERA, impressive. And then with Woodruff, 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 3 Ks. They both have 3 Ks apiece. 49 pitches, 33 strikes, 1.76 ERA from Woodruff. So, again, this was the game that we thought would happen tomorrow with Mizorowski and Gilbert, which is going to be one of the best pitching duels of the season. Anytime we play Scooball or Skeens and it matches up with like Wu and Gilbert, that's going to be must-see TV as well. But, we know the Miz is fantastic. So, it's definitely a chance that we could struggle. But again, we got Logan Gilbert, who's our top guy besides Brian Wu. And again, Brian Wu got roughed up yesterday, obviously with the Astros. George Kirby looking much better today. And hopefully Logan Gilbert going against the Miz tomorrow will pitch like Kirby and it'll give us a chance. But again, George, and again, you have to remember the Brewers have won 10 games in a row. They're 10-0. They're the hottest team in baseball right now. And we have a no-hitter halfway through with a guy that missed the first 50-plus games. Now, when George Kirby is healthy, he's considered usually a top 20 pitcher that can pitch like a top 10 pitcher like Gilbert and Kirby occasionally, right? But again, this season has had some ups and downs, and he was terrible in his first 3 starts. But after that, he started finding his normal self, which most Mariner fans are pleasantly surprised. Let's go. First pitch from Kirby to Siegler, takes a strike looking low and away. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and away from George Kirby. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Siegler. $60 pitches for Kirby at the moment and counting, 49 from Woodruff. And we're in the top of the 6th inning. When's the last time you've seen a game where pitchers are in the 6th inning and they have 50 pitches less than some other guys that usually are in the 80s, 90s, or 100s at this point? So again, it shows you we haven't been able to get a lot of punch outs, but we've been able to get a lot of hitters that are getting popped up and grounded out. And again, based on the pitch counts, both of these guys could go 9 innings. We know that's not going to happen. Now if this was like my childhood in Nolan Ryan, he definitely would go all 9 innings, but obviously the game has changed. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Siegler. 2-2 pitch, low and inside and at the knees with that sinker after the knuckle curve misses. Now sinker misses. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Siegler. But I think this is probably the first time that we've seen both pitchers, in a very good position that could go much deeper than expected. Probably the lowest pitch count that I've seen from 2 pitchers by the top of the 6th inning, possibly all year. And then once the pitchers go out, then we'll have to see who has a meltdown in the pen. And whoever has a meltdown in the pen, if there is one, or if a hitter gets hot, this might end up being a 1-0, 2-1 kind of final, unless the bats explode in a particular inning. But again, as anyone knows, once the starters go out, the game resets and it starts over. And then we'll see where we go from there. 3-2 pitch, fouled off, high and away. Count still is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, no outs. And again, it's been a crazy game so far. The Mariners have 2 hits. We have a no-hitter on the Brewers right now. And obviously, Brew Crew, no runs, no hits, no errors. Mariners, no runs, 2 hits, and an error. But the error didn't cost us a run, so we're in business. And Siegler grounds out in play. Throw to first. 1 away. Next up, shortstop, Joey Ortiz. 0 for 1 with a K. First pitch from George Kirby, takes a strike looking with the sinker, 96 miles an hour, 0-1 count. And the cool thing about the Mariners is that literally every pitcher on the staff, with it be Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Brian Wu, Luis Castillo, or even Logan Evans, anybody could end up throwing a no-hitter for the roster. And on top of that, we got Durangelo, who can pitch in the left side and the right side that's in the farm system, who was our draft pick last year. And then we got the best player in the draft this year, and first round pick number 3, LSU national champion, Cade Anderson. And again, it's just going to be a matter of time before we end up having the best starting 5 in baseball. Facts. It may take a couple years to get those guys called up. 0-1 pitch, in play, and a nice bloop single to left there by Ortiz. And that's the first hit of the game for the Brew Crew. Just over JP's head. He dove for it, but just out of reach. Next up for the Brew Crew, Bryce Terang. First pitch, knuckle curve, 2 feet off the plate, 1-0 count. And you knew at some point that first hit was going to come. So Zay in the building. What's good, brother? So Kirby's at 69 pitches and counting, and Woodruff is at 49 with 5 innings pitched. 1-0 pitch, knuckle curve, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Kirby to Terang. Top of the 6th, 0-0. Brewers and Mariners. We got the Miz and Logan Gilbert going against each other tomorrow. It took me a minute to kind of go through all the thumbs and whatnot, deciding if I want to go Miz and Logan on the thumb or Miz and Julio on the thumb. I made both, but I'll kind of decide tomorrow as we get closer to the matchup. But again, it's definitely an intriguing matchup with the team that's won 10 games in a row. But again, they're more of a dominant team at home, not so much on the road. 26-23 on the road for the Brewers. So I like our chances of winning 2 out of 3 here against the Milwaukee Brewers. They're a very good team. They got a better record than us. So we've been pretty good too. And I like our chances, even with the record being quite a bit better than Seattle at this point. We're going to find a way. We've got a mound visit between Cal Raleigh and George Kirby, and it shows you how good Cal is on managing a game and calling a game. It's not only him being a switch hitter, not only him being able to hit from the left side and the right side, not only him being one of the best defensive catchers, but on top of that, bringing leadership so every pitcher feels comfortable when he is behind the plate. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike to Bryce Terang. 2-1 pitch, high and away with that knuckle curve. 3 balls and 1 strike from Kirby to Terang. And we need a slow dribbler right up the middle to J.P. Crawford for a double play. Let's go. Kirby on the mound, Bryce Terang in the box. Let's go, baby. 35 more to hit the goal. Let's go. Three-one pitch, and Julio can't get it in time. Runners are streaking, and that is a nice double for Terang to center. And now they're threatening with runners at second and third here in the top of the 6th with 1 out. Got to be careful here. This is the opportunity where the game might open up. This is the first time either team has threatened to score, and we're in the 6th inning. Crazy. Next up, one of the best catchers in the game, not named Cal Raleigh, William Contreras. Good effort by Julio hustling, but it was right in between the gap, and he had no chance. Even if he would have dove for it, I don't think he would have gotten it. Top of the 6th with runners at second and third. Brewers getting their first couple hits of the game just momentarily. It's a few moments ago. And we have 1 out with runners at second and third. We need a double play, or at least to get an out, an easy pop-up to kind of stop the bleeding here. Contreras pops up, and Dominic Canzone catches it. Tag attempt, throw home, and safe. 1-0 Brew Crew. Nice sac fly there by William Contreras with 2 away. Next up now is DHing OG, the veteran, 0 for 2 with a K, Christian Yelich. Great effort there by Ortiz, sliding past Cal Raleigh. First pitch to Yelich, and a single, and that brings in Terang from third base. 2-0 Brew Crew. Wow. And it shows you how the game can be, 0-0, 0-0 for multiple innings, and then all it takes is just a couple guys in a row to get into a nice rhythm, and for George Kirby to get a little fatigued, and just like that, a game that was at 0-0 with a no-hitter for Kirby, and in a blink of an eye, if you would have went to the bathroom and came back, now it's 2-0. So again, not surprised, and now we just need the bats to come alive for Seattle, and it's nice to be able to get some hits and runs on the board. Obviously we would like it if Seattle would have scored first and been up 2-0, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Next up is Jackson Chourio. But again, the Mariners have to get to 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits, and we have to hit a home run or 2 to win. And again, it hasn't really been the hitting matchup that maybe a lot of us thought that we would get in this opening game, with more of a pitcher's duel slated for tomorrow with Miz and Logan Gilbert. But I still think, we have a chance to win this game. It's just the Brewers ended up striking first. Top of the 6th with the runner at first. And Chourio all the way back to the wall. Holy cow. And Yelich trying to come home. And 3-0 Brewers. Holy hell. You know, it's like, you know, you want to keep Kirby in there, but then also, you know, at some point, you know, if you don't pull him, if our bullpen was stronger, you know, it's like, oh, maybe we should have pulled him a couple batters ago. But again, the way the bullpen has been playing lately, we can't really afford to do that. And pitch count isn't really too high yet. Just kind of great hitting by the Brewers. Unfortunate circumstances for the Mariners. And just like that, 0-0 turns into 1-0, turns into 2-0, turns into 3-0, and elite base running by the Milwaukee Brewers and the Brew Crew. Next up, 0-for-2, Isaac Collins. And even though we're down 3-0, I still think that we can come back and win. It's not going to be easy, of course, you know, but again, we just have to be able to, you know, manufacture a home run to stop the bleeding, or back-to-back-to-back hits, you know, to get an RBI and then just go from there. We just have to chip away. First pitch from Kirby to Collins, fouled off. 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch. In the zone for a strike, but called ball with that four-seam fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Collins. I mean, we got plenty of time. It's not like it's the 9th inning, you know, and we have to score 3. Hopefully we can end up getting, you know, like a run, you know, in the bottom of the 6th, a run in the 7th or the 8th, and then a run in the 9th. And then somehow, some way, the Brewers don't score any more, and then we find a way to try to win like 4-3 in extras, something of that nature, you know, unless we end up having a monster inning with a meltdown by a Brewers pitcher. And then if we end up scoring 1-3 off a meltdown, we can get right back in it. But, you know, the Brewers, you know, they just found George, you know, in a spot where he just was getting a little fatigued, and they found a way to get those, you know, hit right in between the gaps, and they capitalized. They're a good team. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees with the knuckle curve. 2 balls and 1 strike from Kirby to Collins. And again, the Mariners aren't the only team with 2 outs that can go on a rally, just like the Brewers did. And Kirby's only at 79 pitches. Just unfortunate that he was so lights out for like the first 5 innings, and then, you know, kind of shit the bed here in the 6th. But, you know, that happens. Top of the 6th inning, 3-0, Brew Crew. 2-1 pitch, and Collins with a RBI single, and now 4-0. Unbelievable. Got to be able to get out of this. Fuck. And you don't see George Kirby give up 4 runs in an inning often, especially after throwing a no-hitter for the first 5 innings. Terrible. Next up is Andrew Vaughn. First pitch, fouled off, right down the middle, 0-1 count. But for every run that they keep scoring, it's going to be a lot harder to be able to come back. You know, especially when we haven't hit any home runs yet. You know, they got 4 runs this inning with 5 hits. Kirby with a meltdown. We only have 2 hits so far. We need home runs. We need, you know, every part of the order to step up. Oh, 1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Vaughn. Come on, Ems. We need a meltdown by Milwaukee at some point. George has just been stuck here with 2 outs. He just can't get this last out. And finally, Vaughn goes down for out number 3, but not after the damage was done. And if you're really being honest about it, that's probably the best case scenario that Milwaukee could have had, the Brew Crew, in an inning. You're getting dominated, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And then all of a sudden you end up getting 5 hits in a row and you score 4 runs. Pretty incredible. Not ideal for George Kirby there. And it's not like they gave up a bunch of home runs. It was just hit after hit after hit. And if you can get 5 hits in a row, shit like this will happen, right? So let's do a quick recap here. So in the top of the 6th here just a couple minutes ago, Contreras hit a sac fly to right. Ortiz scored 1-0 Brewers. Then Yelich single to right, 2-0 Milwaukee Brewers. Churio doubled to center. Yelich scored 3-0 Brewers. And then Collins singled to right. Churio scored 4-0 Brewers. And, I'm hoping the Mariners can do something similar. But again, if we're not able to get 5 hits in a row, which is not likely, for Seattle or any team in baseball, we're going to have to hit a home run to stop the bleeding. And again, it just kind of sucks when you have a no-hitter for 5 innings and thinking that it could end up being like a 1-hitter, 2-hitter before Kirby exits, and then we have a 0-0 game, and whoever's bullpen fucks up, then that team ends up losing, and the other team ends up capitalizing. But unfortunately, George Kirby, no-hitter for 5 innings, gives up 5 hits in a row, 4 runs, and now we're sitting up, looking up at the scoreboard in a little bit of disbelief. But I still think that we can come back. I'm not sure if we're going to score as much to win, but I know we're not going to get shut out today. We just need to be able to get on a little bit of a rally on our own. And hopefully they have a little bit of a meltdown with Woodruff or whoever they decide to bring in. Next up for the Mariners, J.P. Crawford. I don't know if you need to bunt and start the rally, but something needs to happen. Batting second, Julio Rodriguez. We need a home run. And batting third, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. We need a home run. We need someone between Julio, Cal, Randy, Polo, and Rayleigh to get a homer to get us off the schneid. Actually, you could say that for anybody. JP, Julio, Cal, Randy, Polo, Rayleigh, Dom. One of those 7 guys needs to homer to get us going. First pitch, high and away from Woodruff to JP Crawford, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to JP Crawford. 1-1 pitch, high and away with the changeup, 82 miles an hour by Woodruff. 2 balls and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Come on, J.P. Come on, Crawdaddy. Teams don't start hitting Kirby in the 6th. I mean, every pitcher gets fatigued because normally you want a guy to go 6, right? And best case scenario, 7. But sometimes it's that inning before, the 5th, where guys get tired. But it's not like Kirby had a high pitch count. It's just like he was lights out with a no-hitter and then just gave up 5 hits in a row, and most of them with 2 outs. So they went on a Mariner rally with 2 outs that we typically do, and it's just kind of bad luck, and just wasn't able to get those guys out. And 1 hit turned into 2, turned into 3, turned into 4, turned into 5. And again, no home runs for the Brewers, just 5 hits in a row, and that'll do it. And there goes JP with a strikeout, 1 away. Come on, JP. Should have bunted. At least could have gotten to first base. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. First pitch to Julio. Takes a strike looking high and inside. 0-1 count. Come on, J-Rod. Trident's up. We need you, baby. Bottom of the 6th, 4-0 Brewers. Julio Rodriguez in the box. Brandon Woodruff on the mound. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss right down the middle for Julio Rodriguez. No balls and 2 strikes from Woodruff to Julio. Come on, Julio. We need a single, a double, a triple, a home run, something. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Julio Rodriguez. 2 away. Next up, the best catcher in the game, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. We need a single. We need a double. We need a triple. But we're looking for home run number 39. Let's go, big dumper. Come on, baby. Let's go. Home run derby champ. First pitch from Woodruff to Raleigh, fouls off, high and away, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, fouled off, low and away, 4-seam fastball, no balls and 2 strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. The Seminole slugger has been doing it for ages. Come on, Cal. Not over yet. All it takes is one meltdown by a pitcher, and things can come back. Mariners have been down by this much, and again, even when it looks, bleak, then there's no guarantee. And now, if pitching is still going to be good for Milwaukee, then yeah, we're going to lose. But again, if they end up having a bullpen guy that can't hit the strike zone, all it takes is a couple walks, a couple guys getting hit, or a few guys to get a couple hits in a row, and we're right back in it. Or if we can get a couple guys to homer, and if that happens, we can get back in it. But not ideal being down 4. But again, we did have a no-hitter through 5 innings, so it's not like we've been getting our ass kicked the whole game. So. And Raleigh fouls out to the catcher on a 2-2 pitch, and that is out number 3. Well, traditionally, Julio is going to be batting 300 in the second half of the season. That's his typical numbers usually go up, every single year, from his rookie year till now. So, he's not going to be able to homer in every game or, go 3 for 4. I mean, he's not Ken Griffey Jr. He's not Ichiro. I mean, he's not even Cal Raleigh. But again, we'll see where it goes. All right, end of the 6th inning, 4-0 Brewers. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes and 100 on the Dono train. Yeah, and also lately, the Brewers have been within these last 10 games, they've been number 1 or number 2 in most of the pitching categories, and they ended up sweeping the Dodgers at home and on the road, and we're 10-0 in the last 10 games. So, again, when you're playing the hottest team in baseball right now. So, even though their record on the road isn't the greatest, 26-23 overall, it's not going to be easy playing a team when they're this hot. So. Next up for the Brew Crew, 0 for 1 with a base on ball and a K, center fielder in the 7-hole, Blake Perkins. Batting second, third baseman in the 8-hole, Anthony Siegler, and batting third, shortstop, Joey Ortiz. I think what makes it the most surprising is that George Kirby had a no-hitter through 5 innings and was pitching magnificent. Neither pitcher really had a lot of Ks. They were getting a lot of ground outs or pop-ups, right? But on top of that, they had 5 hits in a row that turned into 4 runs. It's not like they homered back-to-back or had a 3-run blast. They were able to get 5 hits in a row. And think about this. When's the last time your favorite team had 5 hits in a row and got 4 runs? It just doesn't fucking happen. I mean, that type of stat happens once every 30 to 40 games. It's not something that happens every day or even once in a series. It's pretty often that is the opposite, where you're seeing guys struggle, and you might be able to get back-to-back hits, 3 in a row, but getting 5 in a row for 4 runs is not common. Especially after, the other pitcher, George Kirby, had a no-hitter through 5 innings, and then all of a sudden you get 5 hits in a row for 4 runs. It's just unfortunate, but hopefully, we'll be able to find some kind of way to stop the bleeding. Trent Thornton now in the game. George Kirby's night is done. First pitch from Thornton to Perkins. Low and inside, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Low and at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes from Thornton to Perkins. 2-0 pitch. Low and at the knees. Come on, Thornton. 3 balls and no strikes from Thornton to Perkins. Now, if we're going to end up having shitty pitching like this, then the game will be over for sure, even if the bats come alive. We're going to need, pretty good pitching. And again, with the rest of the pitchers, we can only probably give up 1 the rest of the way, but preferably none. I mean, we're already down 4, and it's not looking too good. We don't have a whole lot of hits. We haven't homered yet. And again, normally when the Mariners don't homer, we don't win. We can't win the way that the Brewers are trying to win today, where they get 5 hits in a row in the lineup and they go 4 runs. That's not what the Mariners do. And honestly, I don't even know if the Mariners have even done that at all this year. Even in our 9 consecutive, win streak, I don't know if we've gotten 5 hits for 4 runs with no homers all year. So Brewers are hot. Shit happens, and again, not ideal to play the team that is the hottest team in baseball, but, you got to find a way. And there we go, 3-2, got him. Nice job by Thornton after being in a 3-0 count, getting the punch out. Nice job by Trent. Down goes Blake Perkins. Next up is 8-hole hitter, third baseman Anthony Siegler. First pitch from Thornton to Siegler, takes a strike looking high and away, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Thornton to Siegler. Come on, Trent. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees with the cutter. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Thornton to Siegler. Come on, baby. Got to stop the bleeding. We just got to get 1, and once we get 1 will lead to 2. 2 could lead to 3, but it's just about stopping the bleeding. We're kind of bleeding out right now. And again, we have to get a rally going. 1-2 pitch, and Siegler singles to right. Nice base knock there. Next up is shortstop Joey Ortiz. And it just kind of sucks for George, to have a no-hitter for 5 innings and then just get 5 hits in 1 inning and then see you later. That's it. And then, to go from, being like, oh, I'm killing it right now. I got a no-hitter through 5, at 0-0, we have a chance. And then all of a sudden, the next inning, you give up 5 hits in a row, no home runs, but just hit. And then you look up at the scoreboard, and now you're down 4, and the chance of the Mariners coming back is probably only like 5% at this point, especially if pitching, ends up being a little suspect the rest of the way. Now, if we ended up having like Brash or Bizzardo in, maybe we would feel like we could keep it at 4, but you're not going to bring those guys in when you're already down 4-0. You're going to save those guys for either game 2 tomorrow with Miz and Logan Gilbert or game 3, possibly when we're ahead. So that's why it's so important to have great guys in the pen rather than your first 2 guys that are the best, because those guys are only going to play maybe once in a series. So it's up to the other guys to step up. And if you have shitty guys in the pen, bad shit will happen. That's facts. Ortiz grounds out into the double play. Throw to first. Got him. There we go. All right, it's time for us to get 1. And if we can get a pitch right down the middle to Randy Arozarena, he can homer. And again, JP, Julio, Cal, come on, man. You guys got to wake up. But this inning has got to be about the middle of the order. And again, all 3 guys have the ability to homer. Randy, Polo, Rayleigh. And it's not like we're going to get home run. But, if that were to happen, obviously we would be right back in it. But again, we just need to get 1. We don't need to be greedy here. Just get 1 and see where it goes. And hopefully Randy can connect. Let's go, baby. Bottom of the 7th, 4-0 Brewers. And we gained some subs. 10 subs we've gained already. Now we need 96 subs for 21,200. Let's go, Randy. And I know it looks really bad. And again, most teams, if you can't hit, then this game is over. But the thing is, the Mariners can. It's not like this is the team from, 2023 and 2024, where as a team we were batting 180 to 220. We're not that team anymore. This team bats 240, 250. So again, a lot of the guys, can hit, not only for home runs, but, for singles, doubles, and an occasional triple once in a while. So even though it looks bad, again, it's just about getting that first. And if we can get it to 4-1 and then just try to get 1 run or 1 or 2 the rest of the way, you never know. Again, we've had epic meltdowns ourselves by bringing in Carlos Vargas. But remember, at the beginning of the year, we were down to the Astros 5-0 in the 8th inning, and we scored 7 runs in the 8th and the 9th, and we won 7-6. So it's not like this is the first time that we've been down 4 or 5 runs. And for most teams and fan bases, this is not a good situation. I get it, but again, it's not over till it's over. We've had quite a few comebacks in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. And the Mariners are one of the top 3 teams as far as 7th, 8th, and 9th production in the league. So we'll see if it ends up leading to a comeback or not, but I don't think we're going to end with a 0. Ashby's in the game, and hopefully he shits the bed. First pitch, low and inside to Randy Arozarena, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking low and on the corner. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees by Ashby. 2 balls and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. And we got this lefty Ashby that's in the game with the goggles. He's got to look. 20 more likes to hit the goal. Let's get there. And we have at least 60 people in the room or more that haven't hit that like button yet. Help your boy out. 2-1 pitch in play. And Arozarena grounds out to third, throw to first. 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, DHing in the 5-hole, it's Polo, Jorge Polanco. Come on, Polo. Polo can be a guy that can get a solo dinger to get us on the board. First pitch from Ashby to Polo, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. In this particular game, we just need the pitcher for the Brewers to walk a few guys or hit a couple guys. We need a couple guys on base, and then we just need a couple hits after that, or that magical home run. And again, if we end up getting on the board, it would be nice if it wasn't just solo dingers. It's like we're going to need like a 2-run blast or a 3-run blast to get back into the game. So for us to do that, we're probably not going to get back-to-back-to-back hits. We're going to need help by either bad pitching with a walk or getting plunked, and then we get the big hit after that. We'll see where it goes. 1-1 pitch, in play, and there we go. Polo with a single, my boy. There we go, Polo. Yes, sir. Nice hit there by Polo. All right, here we go. Next up is Luke Raley. And we're going to have Donovan Solano pitch hit for Raley because we have a lefty. All right, come on, Don. Now we got a mound visit with Contreras and Ashby. Let's go, Solo. Let's go, Solano. We need some Mariner magic here, baby. Well, they're just feeding off the momentum, Uncle. They've won 10 games in a row. They're the hottest team in MLB. So, in the 10-game stretch. So, it's not ideal that we had to play them after winning 10 in a row. They won 3 at the Dodgers and then 3 at home against the Dodgers. So, it's going to be tough. And down goes Solano for out number 3. Double play by Solano. Brutal. All right, end of the 7th inning, 4-0 Brew Crew. All right, we got 2 innings left, so we have to try to get 2 runs in the 8th, 2 runs in the 9th, or 1 run in the 8th and 3 in the 9th. It's not looking good, and we don't really know who we're going to have pitching-wise either, which is going to be tough, to say the least. But you can't win games with only 3 hits and an error with no home runs. And I don't care if we're playing the Brewers or the fucking Miami Marlins or the White Sox. That's not going to get you a dub against fucking anyone. All right, let's go. And remember, we did lose to the Astros yesterday, so there's a little bit of a hangover effect after getting our ass kicked by Houston. We did win the series, and we won the first 2 games. But, again, it's like we're coming off a loss. They won 10 games in a row, and obviously Kirby pitched great for 5 innings, a no-hitter, but then gave up 5 hits consecutively. They scored 4 runs, and we haven't been able to recover. They threw some haymakers. We didn't block, and we're definitely woozy. And we're trying to be able to find that first run to stop the bleeding. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes before the stream ends. And we're looking to try to get to 100 on the Dono train. We're at 75, 25 to go. And shout out to all the new subs that we've acquired. 10 subs so far. 96 to go to 21,200. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Yeah, but it's cool to see the Brewers playing well. You know, obviously the Brewers and the Cubs, usually are decent, but again, they're getting a little bit more notoriety this year, and good for them. It's nice to be able to see some new teams, shine in the league instead of it just being like the Yankees and the Dodgers and the Padres every year. Nice to be able to see the Cubs and the Giants and the Brewers and, obviously a few of these other teams, the Tigers, kind of showcase their skill set this year. Now we have Garcia entering the matchup. Now the Mariners really don't care at this point. 1-1 pitch in play. And Terang single to left. For Brandon Garcia making his MLB debut, but I don't think this is really the right time to be bringing in a guy to make his MLB debut when we're down fucking 4. So that's Dan Wilson for you. And that's one thing that I don't like about Dan is that sometimes he waves the white flag and gives up. And you can tell that we're giving up based on who the pitcher is. And again, I know that you don't necessarily want to use a Brash or a Bizzardo, when we're down 4-0. But again, it's like bringing in a rookie, against the hottest team in baseball when we're down 4. I get, you want to be able to get guys experience, but this is probably not the right time to be bringing the guy in. And at that point, it's like you're pretty much saying that the game is over. We don't think that we're going to score anything, and the game is going to be 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, and we're just going to burn the tape and then go in tomorrow. But tomorrow is Mizorowski versus Gilbert. So the same shit could happen tomorrow, or it could even be worse. So 0-1 pitch, high and away. Garcia on the mound, Contreras in the box. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Garcia to Contreras. One pitch, fouled off, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Garcia to Contreras. All right, take it easy, Megan. I can get you some more photos another time when you have a little bit more free time, or if you come in tomorrow, let me know, and I got you. And Terang caught stealing at second. Got him. Nice throw by Cal. Brandon Garcia making his MLB debut, but again, not ideal to have a new pitcher make his debut when we're down 4 in the 8th, but it is what it is. Okay, no worries. And then you can let me know, what you're thinking photo-wise, and I'll sprinkle those in for you tomorrow as well. 3-2, and Contreras doubles to right. Nice hit there by William Contreras. Next up is DHing Christian Yelich. Brandon Garcia on the mound, making his MLB debut. Down 4-0. With 1 out. Next up is Christian Yelich. And again, for us to win 2 games out of 3, we needed to win this game. And obviously with Mizorowski on the mound against Logan Gilbert tomorrow, obviously there's a chance for us to lose again. So again, we might only be able to win game number 3 with Luis Castillo on the mound, but you never know. Maybe we find a way to beat the Miz with Gilbert tomorrow, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to come back here today with only 2 innings left, especially with the pitchers that we're bringing out for the Brewers hitters. And again, we haven't hit any home runs and we haven't been able to get in any rhythm, unfortunately, today. And, we got our ass kicked by the Astros yesterday, and it seems like we have a little bit of a hangover here against the Brewers. Got to give the Brewers credit. And it shows you, you can have a no-hitter on a really good team that has won 10 games in a row through 5 innings, and then in the 6th inning give 5 hits in a row, and they score 4 runs, and then it's essentially over, which is not something that is ideal for us here in Seattle. 0-2 pitch, low and away with the sweeper. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Garcia to Yelich. And Contreras scores. Unbelievable. Contreras scored. Yelich to second. Wild throw to first base by Brandon Garcia. Come on, my guy. I mean, at this point, we just want to score at least 1 before the game is over so that we don't get shut out. And again, obviously, it's going to be really tough tomorrow, with one of the up-and-coming studs, Mizorowski, on the mound. I mean, we do have Logan Gilbert to match, but it's going to be tough. And Yelich steals third. Man, they are pouring it on right now. But you could already kind of tell that they were giving up when they brought in, Brandon Garcia, who's making his MLB debut from AAA. It's like if they actually thought that we could get a little bit of a rally, you don't bring in a guy like this. 1-0 pitch, and Churio singles, and that brings in another run. Boo! Damn. Just the bleeding doesn't stop, huh? And nice job there by Churio. RBI single, 6-0 Brewers. Brutal. Next up, 1 for 3 with an RBI, left fielder Isaac Collins. So this is like one of those games where you can study the tape for the first 5 innings and say, wow, George Kirby with a no-hitter played great. And then everything from the 6th inning and on, burn the tape because it has been ugly. Kirby, Thornton, Garcia, not ideal. I knew it would be tough, but I didn't think we'd be down fucking 6 right now. But you got to give them credit. They're a very good team this year. First pitch, high and away from Garcia to Collins, 1-0 count. Pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Garcia to Collins. My pup is in here now. He says, I miss you, Dad. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Garcia to Collins. And, we typically don't get blown out often, let alone get back-to-back, blowouts. Even though it's 2 different teams, but this is not something that typically has happened to the Mariners in 2025. But we typically don't play teams that are 10-0 in 10 games either. So 2-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Garcia to Collins. Two-two pitch, fouled off low and at the knees. 2 balls, 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. 6-0 Milwaukee. Now, once the starting pitcher goes out, they cannot come back in, ever. Gained another sub. Got 11 so far today. 95 to go to 21,200. 2-2 pitch, high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Garcia to Collins. 3-2 pitch, high and away, and another walk. Like, again, you know, when you're down 4-0, is this really the best time to bring in a guy for his MLB debut? Fuck no. Like, come on, Dan, you dummy. It's like, what are you trying to do? Like, get this guy to lose all the confidence in the world? Like, he's making his MLB debut when you're down 4, playing against one of the best teams in baseball and the hottest team in baseball in the last 10 games? Like, be smarter, my guy. This is not the time to do it. You know, it's like, that's when you know he's, like, pretty much giving up. Like, you know, is it possible that we still get a run or two before the game's over? Of course. But when you're bringing in a guy when you're down 4 and he's making his MLB debut, like, it's not going to stay at 4. First pitch, fouled off, high and inside to Andrew Vaughn, 0-1 count. Garcia on the mound, Vaughn in the box. 0-1 pitch. High and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. And Churio with the wild pitch by Garcia goes to third. Unbelievable. And when it's raining, it's pouring, I guess. Gained another sub. That's 12. Gained 2 subs. 93 to go. And Vaughn grounds out into the double play. And that is the end of the Brewers in the top of the 8th. Now we need a serious rally. And of course, you know, we're not coming back realistically, but if we can find a way to get at least off the schneid, off the 0, you know, to go into tomorrow with at least something here. And again, it's all about stats at this point. All right, baby. Let's see what we can do. Next up, here in the bottom of the 8th, right fielder in the 7-hole, Dominic Canzone. Batting second, 1 for 2. Second baseman, Big Ben Williamson. And batting third, 0 for 2, 9-hole hitter, second baseman, Cole Young. Yeah, but nobody cares, Skills, about your bets. You know, it's not going to be, oh, if they if you bet and then they win, you know, again, you know, anyone that's trying to be able to win the parlay, it's like, you know, or if you have a single bet, I mean, fucking the MLB and the players and the games, they don't care. You know, again, it just really depends on who pitches and, you know, if the bats come alive. So, you know, just because they've won 10 games in a row doesn't mean that they're going to sweep the Mariners. Still got a chance tomorrow and still got a chance on game number 3 with Castillo. I mean, that's the, you know, you're like the same type of person that would have said that we were going to get swept by the Tigers and then we ended up putting up 35 and swept them. So, you know, anything is possible. You know, after getting swept by the Bronx and New York, 3 games on the road, no one gave us a chance to beat the Tigers, best team in baseball. But we went into Detroit and won 3 in a row. And so, again, sometimes you got to expect the unexpected. And plus, you have to also understand the Mariners are only 7 games above 500. The Brewers are 19 games above 500. It's not like we have a similar record. All right, Dylan Moore up next. First pitch to Dylan Moore, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees with the sinker. 2 balls and no strikes from Ashby to Demo. I mean, realistically, you know, we're probably only going to win 1 game, you know, and again, you would assume it would be game 3 with Castillo on the mound because obviously it's Mizorowski and Gilbert, but
Obviously, in a pitcher's duel, you don't really know who's going to do better, out of the two. As my pup, my pup decides that she wants to go and lay down on the couch. She's going to wait for this game to end, and I'll take her on a walk. I was hoping it was going to be a victory walk, but not the case here today. 2-1 pitch, fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Ashby to Demo. But normally when the Mariners don't hit any homers, we lose. It doesn't matter who we're playing against. We could be playing against the fucking Marlins or the White Sox or, some team like that, like a bottom feeder, and we could still lose that way. We have to homer a couple times to be able to, compete. And again, it's just kind of crazy. We don't usually have games where you have a no-hitter within the first 5 innings, and then you give up 5 hits in a row for 4 runs, and that was the beginning of the end. It's just kind of a unusual game, to say the least. First pitch from Ashby to Big Ben. High and away, 1-0 count. Yeah, Demo needs to be cut for sure. First pitch to Big Ben, takes a strike looking, high and away, 0-1 count. One-0 pitch, takes a strike looking, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Ashby to Williamson. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Ashby to Big Ben.
Oh my God.
1-2 pitch, low and away with that sinker, 96 miles an hour by Ashby, the lefty. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. 6-0 Brewer lead. And honestly, the Brewers, at this point, if you're, 10-0 in your last 10 games, it's just unfortunate that we're playing them, but they could be playing anybody and winning. The Tigers, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, the Astros, Dodgers, Giants. Hell, they already beat 3 games in LA and 3 at home. That's when you knew, something was a brewing in Milwaukee. There we go, Big Ben, getting himself to first. Next up is Cole Young. Bottom of the 8th with a runner at first and 1 out. First pitch from Ashby Young, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Come on, Cole. Let's get to that like goal, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. You haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get there. 0-1 pitch, takes a big swing and a miss, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Cole Young. 0-2 pitch, slider, low and away, missing the plate by about 3 feet. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first, Big Ben, with 1 out. And again, we just need to be able to get to 1. Let's just stop the bleeding. Let's not get shut out. Let's try to get to at least 2 before the game ends, which is going to be a lot harder than obviously expected. But, if we can find a way to get an RBI and maybe a garbage home run by Cal Raleigh in the 9th for, home run number 39. Obviously it sucks losing, but if we can at least gain some stats and not get shut out, we have to look at best case scenario with what's going on here. So. Yeah, but also the Brewers are usually not this good. When's the last time you looked at the fucking standings and the Brewers were 19 games above 500? Fucking never. Unless we're talking about the Robin Yount era, back when I was a kid in the 80s or 90s or something of that nature. It's been a minute since they've been this good, and they're right there with the Cubs for the top of the division. It's not like Milwaukee is this good every year. 2-2 pitch, high and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Cole Young. 3-2 pitch and sinker off the plate. And there's a walk. Here we go. Now we have runners at first and second with 1 out. Now we just need a little bit of Mariner magic now. J.P. Crawford in the box. Julio on deck. Cal Raleigh up after that. Come on now. Let's go, baby. Bottom of the 8th, 6-0 Brewers. Runners at first and second. And this is probably the best opportunity the Mariners have had all game, to be able to try to at least get one, and hopefully we get at least a home run and an RBI before this one's over. And I think that is going to be Ashby's last pitch, unless they're going to let him stay out there. All right, looks like we're getting close. We're at 99. We have at least 40 people in the room that haven't hit the like button yet. So if you are in the room, be that number 100 for us, so that way we can hit that goal and then try to get to 110 before this one's over. Let's go. We're at 99. One more like. 40 people in the room still need to like that like button here for the stream. Let's go. I mean, if we could at least get half, we could probably get to 115, 120, but we're running out of time. JP in play on the first pitch. Fielder's choice. Young out at second, but Williamson is safe at third. All right, here we go. Now we have runners at first and third with 2 outs with Julio Rodriguez. Now, if we can get Julio on base and Cal with a grand salami, we're right back in it. Now, the chances of that happening is probably 1 in a billion, but if we can get Julio to hit a 3-run blast, and make it 6-3, we're still going to lose. But again, at least we'd feel a little bit better. But again, we got Julio and Cal here next, and let's see if we can get off this fucking donut that we're on. All right, Ashby stays in the game. First pitch to Julio, low and out the knees, 1-0 count. Now, if that was Julio at the beginning of the year, he would have swung at that. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees with a curveball. No swing by Julio. Good job. Good eyes. 2 balls and no strikes with runners at first and third and 2 outs, and this is the closest that we've been able to score a potential run all game. And again, it's been a pitcher's duel. There we go. Appreciate you. 2-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike from Ashby to Julio. We hit the 100 likes. We hit that goal. We're at, 75 on the Dono train. 25 to go to hit that goal. Bottom of the 8th, 6-0 Brew Crew. I was really hoping that this was going to be a close one, where the score would be like 3-3 right now or 4-4, but unfortunately the bats have not done us any justice here today. Pitching has been good by both teams, but, Kirby just had that meltdown in the 6th. Had a no-hitter through 5 innings, and that's not something that most pitchers can say that they can do, but, 2-1 pitch. In play, and Julio grounds out to the shortstop for out number 3. So at least we're going to have Cal Raleigh up in the 9th, and maybe we can get a garbage solo dinger by Cal, and we end up losing 6-1. That's better than losing 6-0. All right, hopefully we can hold them to 6, but depending on who's pitching, we will find out. If they keep Garcia in, we're fucked. Terrible time to make an MLB debut when you're down fucking 4-0. All right, here we go. Let's go to the top of the 9th and see if the Brewers are going to add on. Next up, 0 for 2 with a base on ball and 2 Ks. 7-hole hitter Blake Perkins. Brew Crew smiling from ear to ear with this game today. About to go to 11-0 in their last 11 games. Batting second, third baseman Anthony Siegler, and batting third, shortstop Joey Ortiz. And they're going to bring in Carlos Vargas. Oh, hell. Really? You're going to bring in the worst pitcher on the team? Holy fuck. Well, I guess better to have him play in this game than play tomorrow or in game number 3. So, obviously, we don't want to see Vargas at all. And sometimes they bring in Vargas when we're ahead, and then he blows it. So, I guess bring him in when we're down. I mean, I guess, the lead could expand, but it's not like he's going to save us, in this moment. But I guess this would be the appropriate time to bring in Vargas when we're down 6-0, not when we're up 6-0, and then he gives up 6 runs and we end up losing. So, yeah, it's, you got to give credit to the Astros and the Brewers. They're fucking good teams, and again, it's like, if you look at our record, we're kind of like the Cardinals in the National League. We're only like 5, 6, 7 games above 500. You know, the Astros are better record-wise, even though we're getting closer. You know, Blue Jays, Yankees, Tigers. You know, it's just one of those things, you know. Bad timing playing the hottest team in baseball. And then it doesn't get any fucking easier tomorrow. We got Mizorowski on the mound tomorrow, one of the, you know, up-and-coming pitchers, you know, almost like the Paul Skeens of this year. And we have Logan Gilbert to match, but we don't know what Logan we're going to get tomorrow. Are we going to get the Walter, who's going to be lights out and get 7 to 10 Ks? Or are we going to get our ass kicked tomorrow? We don't really know, but I guarantee it'll be better than this. We're not going to lose 6-0 tomorrow. First pitch from Carlos Vargas to Perkins. Takes a strike looking high and inside here in the top of the ninth. 0-1 count.
Oh my God.
0-1 pitch. Takes another strike looking high and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Vargas to Perkins. (0-2 pitch, high and away. I don't know how ball number 3 is called ball when the other 2 pitches are in the same spot called strike. I mean, that would have been strike 3, but, you know, whatever. 1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Vargas to Perkins. Vargas is terrible, bro. He's the worst player on our team, hands down. I mean, we had so many opportunities for him to be able to not blow games, and you know, he might get a couple outs here. I mean, the game's already over, so there's no pressure on him. So, of course, he'll pitch well here. And Perkins strikes out swinging. 1 away. It's like when we need him to pitch well, you know, when we're ahead, he's terrible. And then, of course, when we're down 6-0 and the game is already over, then he actually starts to pitch well. Go figure. Next up, third baseman in the 8-hole, 1 for 3, Anthony Siegler. Yeah, but this is like the first time that we brought out Vargas when we're down by an amount that we're not coming back from. You know, 9 times out of 10, we bring in Vargas when we're tied or when we have the lead, and he fucks it up. 0-1 pitch, and that's a single there. No. 2 away. Next up, 1 for 3 with a run in a K, shortstop Joey Ortiz. Who are they playing, Nick, on Friday? First pitch takes a strike looking to Ortiz, 0-1 count. It's almost comical that Vargas is doing well when we're, you know, there's nothing to really play for. And then now he finally shows that he can, you know, get guys out. But on the flip side, it's not like the Brewers really care at this point. You know, they're just going through the motions because they know they won already. 0-1 pitch, fouled off high and inside. No balls and 2 strikes for Carlos Vargas. And this is probably the best Vargas has done in a long fucking time. You know, normally it's like he's giving up hit after hit, home run after home run. But again, most of the time when Vargas enters the game, we're trying to, you know, keep the lead. Or the game is tied and we need him to pitch well, and he doesn't. But when he's down 6-0, then he decides to be a fucking Cy Young candidate. Okay, I see how this is. Well, maybe we should only pitch him when we're down by $1 billion. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Vargas to Ortiz. 1-2 pitch, and strikes him out. Unreal. I don't even know what to say. Vargas looking great when we're down 6-0. Wish he could actually apply himself when we're tied or when we're, ahead in the game. But I guess that's how Vargas operates. No pressure on him because he knows the game's over. Then he pitches a gem. 1, 2, 3. Goodbye. Okay. All right. Last chance for the Mariners to get off the schneid and get off the fucking 0. All right, come on, Cal. I mean, this has already been a terrible game for us, but at least, you know, you could put a smile to our face by, you know, hitting home run number 39. Trident's up. Let's go, Cal. You're 0 for 3. Let's make it 1 for 4 with a dinger. What do you say? Batting second, 0 for 3. Left fielder in the 4-hole, Randy Arozarena. And batting third, 1 for 3 with 2 Ks, DHing Jorge Polanco. All 3 guys could hit homers. Will they? Absolutely not. Not all 3. You know, but we might get lucky if we can get 1 guy to homer out of the 3. Miracle. Could you imagine if we ended up scoring 6 runs this inning? And then we end up winning the game 7-6 in extras? Still Mariners till I die, baby. Since 1985. Still going strong. Tridents up. Let's go, M's. And if they would have put in a better pitcher, instead of going in with Brandon Garcia making his MLB debut or Thornton, maybe we're only down 4-0. Still, we wouldn't come back and win, but obviously being down 4-0 in the 9th is better than being down 6. But now we just have to pray that we can get something out of our big dumper, Cal Raleigh. First pitch from Ashby to Raleigh takes a strike looking high and away. 0-1 count. And now they have Cal batting right-handed because Ashby's the lefty. And we know Cal can produce from the right side. It's not like he can't hit homers from that side. He can. 0-1 pitch. High and inside with the sinker. 1 ball and 1 strike to the home run derby champ, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. The 3rd time in franchise history they've won 11 in a row, so it's not like this is something that happens often for this Milwaukee Brewer team. 1-1 pitch, and Raleigh with a deep single to left. There we go. Here we go, baby. Rally time. We're coming back. Nice job, Cal. It wasn't a home run, but we'll take that hard hit single, baby. Next up is Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. Let's go for a 2-run blast here or a single. Let's go. All right, the main thing now is, yes, we're going to lose, but let's not get a 0. Nothing is worse than getting a fucking 0 in baseball.
Oh my God.
And Ashby is out, and they're going to bring in Anderson, the righty. Come on, baby. I need Anderson to throw it right down the middle. Boom. Randy Arozarena, 2-run blast, 6-2 Brew Crew. Come on now. Let's go. Not a whole lot out of JP, Julio, and Cal, and we're going to need that tomorrow. Let's see if Randy can do something here. Gained 11 subs. 94 to go to hit 21,200. Let's go. Commercial break in progress, and hopefully we can make some kind of magic happen here. Obviously the game is over, but it would be nice to not have a 0 at the end of the day, especially getting a no-hitter through the first 5 innings and watching it collapse right in front of our very eyes. But this is baseball. It happens. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Anderson to Arozarena. Come on, Randy. Grant Anderson on the mound, the righty. Randy Arozarena in the box. 1-1 pitch, sweeper, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Anderson to Arozarena. Bottom of the 9th, runner at first with no out, 6-0 Brew Crew.
You dream of heaven.
2-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. That would have been the one if it would have connected on the sweet spot. That would have been a single, double, or homer, but just a little bit behind that baseball. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first, Cal Raleigh, and no outs. And 2-2 pitch, and Randy strikes out swinging, 1 away. Our dream of him homering just evaporated. Next up is Jorge Polanco. Maybe Polo can go yard. Let's go, Jorge. Bottom of the 9th, 6-0 Brew Crew. We need to get at least a 1 before this game is over. Come on, Mariners. No zeros. First pitch to Jorge Polanco from Anderson. Takes a strike looking low and away. 0-1 count. It's not going to be easy. Mizorowski versus Logan Gilbert tomorrow. Realistically, we're probably only going to win 1 game in this series. But again, if we win tomorrow, we will have a chance with Castillo in game number 3. But, if we end up having a similar outing as today, we could get swept by this team. I mean, they've won essentially 11 in a row, and they've only done that 3 times in their team history. And again, it could end up being 12 in a row, 13 in a row by the time this series is over. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss right down the middle to Jorge Polanco. No balls and 2 strikes from Anderson to Polo. Yeah, and we're used to it. Again, some people, they don't have the, mindset to be able to handle losses and bad things happening. It's like, we went 20 plus years without making the playoffs. How many people could be a fan of a team, with knowing that they have no chance of making the playoffs for 20 plus years? Not many. So we are very mentally strong, as fans in Oregon and Washington. That's facts. 0-2 pitch, high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Anderson to Polo. We hit 110. There we go. Nice job all day. Great job. Anderson on the mound. Polo in the box. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner at first. 1 out. Come on, Polo. I mean, you got to think in the last 40 years, Mariners have only had like 4 or 5 good seasons in 40 years. 95, 97, 2001, 2022, and maybe this year. So we've only had, 4 good years and like 40? So, but, I still love this team with everything that I got. Polo grounds out to the fielder's choice. Raleigh out at second, 2 away. And now we're down to our last batter, Donovan Solano. And realistically, this will probably be where the game ends. Now, if we would have swept the Astros yesterday, we probably don't have a 0 today. But obviously the hangover effect is real. And again, we haven't been able to recover after the ass whooping that we got from the Astros yesterday. Yes, we did win the first 2 games and won the set and the series. But again, sometimes when you have a bad loss, it, turns into another bad loss. First pitch, fouled off right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Donovan Solano. STL in the building, what's good? Solano in the box. Anderson on the mound. And Polo to second on a fielder's indifference. 0-2 pitch, fouled off high and away. Bottom of the 9th, 6-0 Brew Crew. And the game was tied 0-0 for the first 5 innings. And even George Kirby had a no-hitter. But again, gave up 5 hits consecutively in the 6th, which scored 4 runs. There hasn't been any home runs today. And typically when the Mariners don't hit at least 1 home run, we lose. And again, we lost big here today. Mariners came in, obviously feeling pretty good, even though we lost yesterday to the Stros. And we're playing the hottest team in baseball that have won now 10 in a row, looking to be 11 in a row. And Solano gets hit by a pitch. Now, haven't had a whole lot of offense since the 5th inning yesterday, and that needs to change. All right, now we have runners at first and second with 2 outs. Best case scenario, we hit a 3-run bomb to lose 6-3, but the chances of that happening is probably like less than 1%. Especially when the batter is Dylan Moore. All right, Dylan, time to earn the paycheck, my guy. First pitch to Dylan Moore, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Come on, Dylan. Bottom of the 9th, 6-0 Brew Crew, 0-1 pitch, takes another strike looking. Swing, Dylan. No balls and 2 strikes to Dylan Moore. 0-2 pitch, high and inside with the 4-seam fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Brewers up 6-0 and approaching 11 games in a row. And again, they've only done that 3 times in their team's history, counting tonight. And again, once the series is over, it might be 13 if we're not, going to get on the board here. 1-2 pitch, and Demo strikes out swinging, and that is the game. Not surprised. Dylan Moore is probably our worst player on the team besides Carlos Vargas. Wow, well, that's not fucking what I expected that was going to happen today. But again, the hangover effect is real, and we're not talking about the movie. We got our ass kicked by the Stros yesterday. Brewers, they're a great team. 20 games above 500 now, 60-40 record. We're not in the same category as them. And again, hopefully it'll be a little bit better tomorrow. But again, we're going to have The Miz going against Logan Gilbert. So we'll see how that all plays out tomorrow. But I guarantee it won't be as bad as this. At least I hope not. And again, game 3, we'll have Luis Castillo. So tough, man. Wish it was going to be a little bit better, but shout out to the Brew Crew and their fan base. You guys earned it. 11 games in a row. They're the hottest team in baseball. They are electric, and hopefully we'll be able to bring somewhat of a competitive matchup tomorrow. I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Shout out to Megan, Sarah, and Monkey Kung Fu with the donos. Shout out to All Day doing a great job, getting us to a great number with the likes and the donos. You're awesome. I appreciate you. And again, we'll be back tomorrow live, and let's go over the times real quick. I believe the game will be on at the same time tomorrow, but let me just double check. So what do we got cooking tomorrow? All right, so tomorrow's game, same time, same place, but it'll be a global broadcast on MLB Network. Jacob Mizorowski, 4-1, 2.81 ERA versus Logan Gilbert, 2-3, 3.39 ERA. Should be a pitcher's duel. Definitely excited about that, even though I do want some hits and fucking home runs at some point. And then the rubber match will be on, and that will be on Tuesday, and that'll be Wednesday, and that one will be at 12:40 Pacific, and that'll be Priester, who's 8-2 against Luis Castillo, that's 7-5. So hopefully it'll be a little bit better. But again, if we end up getting swept, I wouldn't be shocked. But hopefully the bats will come alive. So I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Final score: Brewers 6, Mariners 0. Tridents up. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Go Mariners.